They are the elite, daring combat veterans, flying on the edge of what's possible. They're called the best aerobatic display team in the world.
On reflection, what we're doing is extraordinary, but it just feels absolutely normal now.
For the first time, they've allowed cameras to follow them for an entire year. As a new leader takes charge in one of the most challenging periods in the squadron's history. It's a year of triumphs, of tragedy.
On Tuesday, the squadron's aircraft crashed at RAF Valley.
And of courage.
We have to move on, and the best way to do that is to get on with our jobs.
But ultimately, it's a year of breathtaking, awe-inspiring flying. These are the Red Arrows. The start of the Red Arrows display season is now only 2 months away. The team have just achieved a landmark in their pre-season training. Their first 9-jet sortie.
It's a huge moment for us, actually, and it was one that I wasn't really sure we would get to. So, yeah, monumental to get it done.
But for another few weeks, they'll continue to train mainly as 2 elements. Enid, the front 5 Reds, are getting new pilots, Jon Bond and David Stark, up to speed. The most experienced Red Arrows pilots make up the rear element, called Jippo, after a previous team leader. They perform the most difficult maneuvers in the display.
Watch out! Watch out!
There's a light-hearted rivalry between the 2 sections.
There's definitely a healthy level of banter between Jippo and Enid. It keeps you on your toes. You want to perform as well as possible when Enid are watching and vice versa.
You can't get your ice cream, you've got to earn it.
If something's a bit dull or not going very well, we call, oh, that's a bit Enid. And that really winds them up.
The synchro pair, who perform the hair-raising opposition manoeuvres, get stick from everyone.
Synchro actually have their own office down the corridor, probably to accommodate their ego, and the rest of the pilots get put in here. So we had a bit of a parking sign made. Should their chat get a little bit too much about how amazing their last fudge was, we can kick them out of our office. It can get a little bit crowded, so they take it in the spirit it's meant.
Yeah, so after the tone, I'm going to roll, pull, point towards my ground feature.
Today, the rear element are going to attempt their first full routine, which they'll perform in the second half of the display.
I will just take a crowd rear over the top of you, so if you can say 500 and below, yep. I'll just drop us over the top of you. As long as you're visual with us, then I'm happy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right, good match.
Performing the entire high G routine is physically demanding for the pilots.
You feel the blood starting to pour in the lower parts of your body, your legs and your feet. You feel the G-pants inflating around your legs and your abdomen. So that's quite an unusual feeling. And if you're not careful, you can start to get grey tunnel vision. So if you start to get that, you've got to strain harder against the effects of G.
When you're pulling 8G, everything weighs 8 times its weight if we're just sitting here now. So, for example, the helmet that we wear, that is weighing 8 times its normal weight.
You're sitting still. All you're doing is sitting there. However, the physical aspects of this job is pretty extreme.
As well as perfecting their aerobatics, like all fast jet pilots, the Reds need to continually practice dealing with emergencies, such as engine fires on a flight simulator.
Showing fire. Enemy signs of fire from the tower.
Red 10, from the tower, affirmative. You're trailing smoke.
The Hawk simulator is at RAF Valley in Anglesey, and the pilots of Enid are heading there for training. But they're not going alone.
And what's an added bonus is that we can take the guys who are going to be the new circus members for 2018 and just expose them to some of the feelings that they will experience whilst flying in the back of a Hawk.
This flight is called the Shakedown. It's the final stage of training for circus. The engineers are allowed to fly back seat to service the jets when they travel away from base.
The shakedown sortie, for me it was a bit more of a build-up of tolerance of flying because I don't do too great with it. So my flight down there was quite plain. I wanted to go into the Mach loop.
The Mach Loop is a famous low-flying route through the Welsh mountains. New circus members experience it as part of their shakedown.
We sort of pulled in at maybe 2.5 G, started to feel a little bit queasy. So I said to my pilot, I don't think I can go into the loop today.
Will landed early at RAF Valley. The other circus backseaters, like John Bayliss, managed to stay the course.
John come running over, big beaming smile, green, covered in sweat, talking about the Mach loop, and look over at my little sick bag and had a little smile on his face. Had a little joke, pointing at it, but his flight seemed to be a hell of a lot better than mine was.
Will returns from RAF Valley as the senior pilots head out for another sortie.
See you later. Have a good one.
We'd landed back at Scampton. I was working out in the hangar and senior management has sort of called everyone in. Said there's been an incident that's happened at Valley.
A training exercise that went badly wrong. This is the aftermath of a Red Arrow crashing from the sky. The pilot survived, but this evening a Ministry of Defence spokesman announced his engineer died in the crash.
It is with great sadness that the Royal Air Force can confirm the death of an engineer from the Royal Air Force aerobatics team, the Red Arrows, in a tragic accident today.
Knowing what I knew John was there. I knew he was the last one that's coming back. So yeah, 2 and 2 together. Might not be the brightest of persons, but I figured out it was John. I knew that it shouldn't have been John. Yeah.
John had been flying in the back seat of Starkey's jet. Moments after taking off from Valley, heading home to Scampton, they crashed. Starkey ejected seconds before impact, suffering a serious leg injury. John didn't manage to escape. The cause of the accident is still under investigation.
After we were all briefed and sort of given the bad news, you know, that it was John and that it's sort of gone, all got together. It's typical RAF raid, really, get into groups, chat. Talking's very good, you know, we talked through memories of John, how we felt about John, how much he'd be missed, how much he meant to us, each of us. Shared a little experience about him, sort of celebrate his life.
Following the accident, the Red Arrows go into lockdown. The jets are grounded, and everyone is sent home. 2 days after the tragic accident, the Red Arrows are still closed down. Team leader Martin Pert returns to record a video message.
Emotions are still pretty raw at the moment for everyone on the team, and we just need to figure out how we go from here.
On behalf of everyone at the Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team, I'd like to thank you, the friends, fans and followers of the Red Arrows for your unstinting support this week. As aircrew, we're exposed to these risks, whereas for the engineers, for it to happen to one of their own in such a unique circumstance is really difficult for them. As you will be aware, on Tuesday, one of the squadron's aircraft crashed at RAF Valley. Unfortunately, because of Starkey's injuries, it's likely that he's not going to be able to take part in the 2018 display season. So I need to make some quick, potentially difficult decisions. John was not just an exceptional colleague and dedicated engineer, he was also a leader and friend to so many across our small team. We can't just stop forever, and it's just balancing how we get back on the horse, but also remaining sensitive to what's happened here, because we're all human and this hurts.
Three days later, work for the Red Arrows has to resume. Preparations need to be made for Springhawk, their annual 6-week training exercise in Greece. They were due to depart in just 2 weeks' time.
It is a tough time. We'll never forget John. You know, he's probably looking down us now as well, saying, you know, come on, keep going, you know, don't mourn for my loss.
It's still quite emotional on the squadron. It will be until we have the funeral. Keeping your mind on work, keeping focus does help. We have to move on. And the best way to do that is to get on with our jobs.
It's Gary Smith's job to get 80 engineers and 50 tons of equipment to Greece.
What we will need is on the Monday, April the 16th at 9 o'clock, we need you to be at the base.
Yeah.
Preparations must continue because guaranteed good weather in Greece is essential for the pilots to prepare for PDA, the Public Display Authority Test, when they must prove they're good enough to display to the public.
The sort of characters of the people we've got, the squadron spirit, you know, is incredibly strong, which is great. So the bounce back will happen. We will grieve for some time, but we will also get back to what we need to do. We are back to flying today, so you know that's a good step forward for us. We're recovering our aircraft from over in Valley, so they've landed in today.
But with the display season only 8 weeks away, the team are a pilot short. Taking on Starkey's specialised Red 3 role at such short notice is an almost impossible task. But there's one person who may be able to do it.
We're actually going to get Squadron Leader Ling, who was Red 10 for the previous nine seasons or so, back into the team. And he's a previous Red 3 pilot. He flew in that position a number of years ago.
Although originally a display pilot, for many years Lingy was the team supervisor, giving the commentary from the ground.
Let's please have a big round of applause. Here they are. It's the Red Arrows.
Well, I've got a lot of experience in the Red Arrows as a supervisor. It's been quite a while since I last actually flew in the number 3 position. So it's picking up where I left off 10 years ago to get back into the 3 slot and remember what my muscles need to do to fly as stably as I can.
When he left the team 5 months ago, Lingy had spent a record-breaking near decade in a red flying suit.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, he's back for an encore.
Boss. Hello. Welcome back.
Right.
Good to see you.
Cheers.
How are you?
Thank you. All right, yeah.
I personally need to go flying with Lingy. He needs to sit on my wing, get used to my inputs, all the things that we spent months and months of winter training doing, which we will accelerate with Lingy because of his significant experience beforehand. but it will add to our training burden. We need to have a think about how we get you up to the standard that we need before Springhawk. We'll probably start pretty much straight in at the deep end. We'll just go off and do some formation work.
Formation aerobatics not done for a while, so that will just ease me nicely, gently, and then it's more about the cadence and getting to know how two flies it to bat and ball off him or anything.
Anytime I'm briefing you, I'll probably get Bondy in as well, just so that he's kind of bought into what we're doing. That'll probably allay some of his fears about starting all the way from scratch again. Is there anything for me? Is there anything burning desires, currency-wise? How are you doing?
Slalom is the only one I haven't flown from the front.
Okay.
From when I was 3, clearly 10 years ago, but
yeah.
Slalom is the one I think might take a little bit of work to get used to the rhythm and the cadence.
As Red 3, there are other skills Squadron Leader Ling needs. It's a position normally flown by new pilots and comes with additional responsibilities.
The very important duties for Red 3 are sorting the coffee machine out, getting everyone their rations, ringing the bell a minute before any event, so all the good stuff. But yeah, very important. The team runs on rails when everyone does their job properly, so yeah, it's now clean.
Job done, he can now go flying. The display season's less than 2 months away, but Lingy has to start with the basics. Learning the core manoeuvres, flying with his opposite number, Bondy.
Myself and Starkey went through the whole work-up together. We've been able to rehearse the moves, etc., just between ourselves, because a lot of the cadence starts with myself and Red 3. We practiced that together and we spent a lot of time over winter training doing that, but now we've got to learn that again.
Morning.
Morning, sir.
Right.
Yeah, thank you. So we can hopefully get back to where we were before the accident as quickly as possible.
Thank you very much. In my first year when I was Red 3, we had around 5 months of training, but this year I've got 5 weeks.
So we're all aboard. Aye, 3.
So we've got our work cut out, but everyone's going to gel together and the team's going to work hard and we're going to get to that point. Today we've just been putting some of the second half manoeuvres together. So for the first time going off to fly the detonator. The goose.
Free to roll. Speed. Let's check roll.
Revolution.
Lingy has flown all these before, though 10 years ago. But now he faces a particularly difficult manoeuvre for the first time. Slalom. Slalom is performed by the front 5 jets. Starting off in a line, 4 fan out into a V formation called battle. Then they swap sides, crossing in a perfect line. It requires extreme precision and exact timing. Lingy first has to perfect the move with just Bondy.
When I was Red 3, we flew a manoeuvre called the Helix. The Helix was very similar, but what I haven't done in the slalom is where the aircraft cross.
Reverse battle. Good.
That's the biggest learning curve for me, is putting the aircraft in the right place and getting the timing right.
To make it look symmetrical, you all need to cross into the middle at exactly the same time. And we do that on cadences, so we count.
Battle. Good.
But as Bondy crosses, Lingy is still far out. His move is too slow. They make more attempts. The timing gets better,
Battle. Good.
but still isn't perfect.
Despite his 9 years of experience on the team, he won't have been exposed to this manoeuvre. So that's why I think he's probably finding it as challenging as perhaps he might be. He will get it, it's just going to take some time.
That was good. That was second half sortie, the first of the second half manoeuvres. So good to get the blood pumping, bit of G, and keep a little bit of everything moving, really. It was the reverse battle and then anticipating the power to get back across. And set the third one, I got left way behind. The last one might be better. I've been learning a lot from Bondy. It's great flying again, obviously, and just hoping that I can perform well enough to get the team back to the place where they were around a month ago. It's good fun, mate. Yeah.
Right, welcome back. Good progress made. We've seen Detonator, Goose, Revolution, Slalom. So 4 good elements of the second half crimped off. Excellent.
But just as Lingy is starting to get to grips with the routine, the Reds are grounded again. Because an extremely serious defect has been discovered on a Hawk jet.
We've got an aircraft currently at RAF Valley on a minor servicing. They removed the ailerons as part of that minor, and they found initially a crack on the hinge point, which attaches to the aircraft itself.
Ailerons are the movable surfaces on the wings that are raised or lowered to roll the aircraft. If they failed, the jet would become almost uncontrollable. Although the fault has been found on only one Hawk, none can fly until every aileron is removed, to check the defect isn't more widespread.
We're stripping the ailerons off the aircraft currently. We'll look at stripping the painting off and do an independent check to make sure that that control surface is fit for purpose when it's back on the aircraft. A lot of work at a crucial time, but ultimately we need to get it done before we now deploy to Springhawk.
It's devastating news for the pilots, who face PDA, the public display test, in only 6 weeks' time.
So flying programme is completely on hold for the moment. Let's prioritise getting the jets serviceable. We need to look at getting us flying for our own morale, but also so that we can just keep track progressing towards a Springhawk departure.
The aileron issue has come at a really cruel time, and when we desperately need to get flying again after the accident, we find ourselves grounded for up to possibly 3 or 4 weeks now. It's entirely possible that we won't be ready for PDA. If we don't make PDA whilst we're out on Springhawk in Greece, the likelihood is we would have to cancel some of the displays at the beginning of the season.
The Red Arrows have been grounded for days. The engineers working flat out to get the pilots flying again.
It is tough, it's challenging, and we're already, we're still grieving for one of our own as well. So everything is that all combined it's a really difficult time for the guys and girls.
They managed to clear 3 jets to fly, at least allowing replacement pilot Lingy to continue his training.
We need to have him flying full 9 ships within about 2 weeks. Normally, a pilot who's come in training for the first time would spend approximately 170 to 200 sorties before they got anywhere near a 9 ship. We're looking at Lingy doing that within 9 or 10. A testament to both his talent and his experience levels, having been with the team for about the last 9 years.
Let's check roll.
And an important decision has been made regarding the squadron's imminent departure for Greece.
We've delayed our deployment to Springhawk, and that is so we can offer up the opportunity for squadron members to attend the funeral of Corporal Bayliss. And that's the right decision to make.
Engineer John Bayliss's funeral is held with full military honours. Colleagues, friends and family pay their respects. and there's a fly past of Typhoons from John's previous squadron. His close friends from the Reds, Jordan Fairbairn and Will Allen, act as coffin bearers.
It was an extremely hard thing to do. It's something that I felt I really, really wanted to do, be a part of that. John wanted to be remembered as a 29-year-old. I've known the guy over 10 years, and every birthday, how old, John? 29. Hair colour, he was never ginger. African sunset, Danish gold. He didn't have radar ears, he just had a slightly small head, that's what it was. John would be wanted to remember as a young Danish gold guy with a slightly small head. John would want everyone smiling along with him and just celebrating his life. That is what John would want.
It was just infectious, his smile, certainly for the aircrew upstairs, and being able to transmit that to the engineers is something that will live with me for the rest of my days.
Early the following morning, the Red Arrows begin their deployment to Greece. The 1 week delay has allowed more jets to be past fit to fly, but possibly not enough.
We want 11 aircraft for Springhawk, but things seem to conspire against us at the moment to try and achieve that, because all these things have all come at the wrong time and making it really difficult for us to achieve. What we want to do is get those 11 aircraft out to Greece.
Most of the 80 ground crew will be flying out on a transport aircraft from nearby RAF Waddington. Circus 10, photographer Rose Buchanan, should have been flying in the back seat of a red jet, but because of the accident, ex-circus member Hannah Smoker is to take her seat.
I'm just covering for Rose, just on the transit out to Greece for Springhawk, so just going to fly out in the jet for the 2 days, just because Rose hasn't had a familiarisation yet, just hadn't had a chance to get her just up in the jet. So she'll get that out once she's out in Greece, and then she'll be doing the flying back.
One of John Bayliss's best friends, Jordan Thorburn, has taken on the role of Circus 3.
So I'm flying out to Springhawk. I'll be flying back from Springhawk as well, and then I'll be flying pretty much the whole of the first half of the season. So up to about our mid-season break point is currently how far I've been told I'll be flying into.
For the rest of Circus, it's their first ever long-haul flight in a Red Arrows jet.
Slightly nervous, excited, looking forward to it, looking forward to getting the team together, looking forward to getting into training, sort of out in Greece now really, and the hops, unsupported hops, be a brilliant experience, and the flying itself. So all in all, excited about flying and nervous about flying.
The downside of flying back seat is the lack of luggage space.
Just a pair of pants, that's it.
Every spare inch is used, including the electronics bay.
I've just put an overnight, well, emergency in that bag, and then I've got an overnight bag in the pannier bag, which will go underneath.
And now the team finally know how many jets are fit for them to fly in.
We were hoping to take 11, but we have managed to achieve 10, which is phenomenal. The guys and girls have really pulled it out of the bag. This week has been remarkable, the way they've worked so hard to get 10 aircraft ready on the line today.
Lissy passes on the good news to the pilots in their pre-flight briefing.
0740, 21st of April. Morning, boss. Morning, everyone. Morning.
The 10 aircraft that we're taking on the push this morning are all serviceable. By miracle of miracles, the guys worked really hard last night.
Well, Lissy, thank you. Amazing work. 10 aircraft. All right. I'm hoping we're going to be on the timeline. The weather is fantastic. I'll see you at 10 past. Right. We've got 10 aircraft serviceable this morning after an amazing amount of work from our engineers. We're about 3 to 4 weeks behind. We've obviously subbed in Lingy as Red 3. He's been doing particularly well given his experience beforehand, but there are elements of the show that we've not flown in 4 weeks or even longer. So from sort of Tuesday next week, we'll be flying 3 slots a day, every day. We need to just pick up where we were 5 weeks ago.
The flight out will be over 2 days, with stops in France and Croatia. The pilots' families have come to wave them off on their 5-week deployment.
How's it going, mate? You all right? Good.
I think everyone's looking forward to Springhawk as a place that we can move forward as a team, for everyone to regroup, the team to rebuild, and for us to really focus on achieving PDA at the end of May.
So hope it's nice in Croatia.
Springhawk will be crucial for the team to pull back together after the accident. I think we just need a consolidated period away from all of the admin, all of the trivia, all of the memories that will be dragged up because of the accident. Go somewhere completely unique for most of the team. Beautiful sunshine, we're able to display every single day, 3 trips a day. It's hugely important.
The ground crew fly direct from RAF Waddington, landing at Tanagra Air Base only a few hours later. It gives them time to prepare for the jets when they arrive the next day after the overnight refueling stop in Croatia.
The weather's been like this. It's been not a cloud in the sky from the moment we left Scampton.
Hello. Hello. Well done. Good to see you. Good to see 10 aircraft. Yeah. Well done.
Here we are, 10 jets. It's I almost can't believe it, to be perfectly honest.
It's the first international transit I've done with the Reds, so looking around at 9 other aeroplanes around me was pretty special.
Air sickness sufferer Will has made it through his first long-haul backseat flight.
Stomach's completely settled now. In fact, no, I said a lie. Coming into Croatia...
You told me you had a couple of moments.
Yeah, there was a few turns, a few G-turns, and then we've done a fly pass, and then the brake to land. I sort of timed my breathing wrong on the brake to land. So yeah, I didn't have many turns left in me at that point, but I was all right.
Haven't been sick?
No, haven't been sick.
Only once.
These next 4 weeks are absolutely vital. Every single trip from now counts, and the guys know it, you can see it. A day off tomorrow, and we'll start flying in earnest on Tuesday.
The team head to their accommodation on the nearby coast.
Eddie, good to see you again, my friend. How are you? Good? Good?
For some much-needed rest. Dawn, 2 days later. The team start work early in Greece. The almost guaranteed sunshine allowing them to fly 3 sorties a day, every day. Despite having no bell,
Ding-a-ling!
it's still Lingy's job to call the morning briefing.
Morning, everyone. 3 slots today, first time, which is great, so enjoy that. Lots of other stuff going on, and hopefully look forward to continuing. That's what I've got. Thank you.
Almost immediately, they fly their first 9 aircraft sortie since the accident. Incredibly, only 2 weeks since Lingy returned.
We always knew that Lingy was the right man for the job. I think even I'm somewhat amazed at how well he's done so far. We flew him 6, maybe 7 times before he got into the main formation.
go.
And those were small formations of 2 or 3 aircraft. But within about 8 or 9 trips, he was up to almost full display standard.
Flip off, go.
Lingy's picked it up really quickly, he's all over it, and it's just me now that's running along behind.
And roll.
There are some things that come flooding back and some things that I'm learning. I'm finding it quite tricky actually, just because I've not been flying in the 3-slot for 10 years, so doing it now and trying to be as stable a platform for the guys outside Reds 5, 7 and 9, certainly in the big shapes, has been harder than I thought it might, but it's all there, it's coming along, and we've got the training now for the next 3 weeks before PDA.
Passing PDA is all about precision. And accuracy is encouraged by the pilots making each other pay fines into a social fund for any mistake. One is a parking fine. Their front wheel must stop exactly on the centre of the black line.
Parking's one of the things that you have to get right at the end. So you call it on the radio before you fly, and then if you've got a certain amount of fines during the week for late smokes, early smokes, then you get one opportunity to go double or quits, and everything's presentation on this job. So if that's wrong, then obviously all my fines for the week double. I don't know. I don't think it's going to save me very much, because I think it was pretty bad, to be honest. So I think I'm in debt. So we'll see how it goes.
The decision on size double or quits gamble is the job of Red 8, Matt Masters.
Well, I can see from here.
Yeah, that it's good. Well, I mean, how close are we talking?
Well, it's got to be on the line, isn't it?
How good you?
Doubtful, Simon, I'm afraid.
See, we started together as well. You'd think you'd have a little bit of bias towards me, but it's all gone now.
Nailed it,
after 3 years.
After only 2 days flying in Greece, Pertin makes a momentous decision.
Diamond move.
Incredibly, he thinks Lingy is now good enough for the team to attempt their first full display routine of 2018.
Roll, checker.
Oh, right up.
That's absolutely fine, and then we'll just try and pick it up at a natural point.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Now, they'll find out if he is. Despite bringing in a replacement pilot and losing weeks of training following the accident, the Red Arrows are going to attempt their first full display routine of 2018.
Redson!
And it won't just be the pilots whose performance will be put to the test. This will be the first time the new dye team will try to produce coloured smoke.
This is the first time we've actually put colour into the jets. So it's a bit nerve-wracking. We bulked the rig with the dye prior to coming out to the jets. Essentially, it just pumps that fluid straight into the pod. The lads are all listening now for the colour actually going into the tanks physically, and then hopefully when the jets go airborne and we come over the top of us, all the colours will be correct.
Blaze off!
Right.
With your ear pressed against the tank that's filling, it's quite distinctive noise. It's as if a water bottle is slowly filling up, and then when it gets to the top, you need the distinct change of tone. When you hear that tone and a chatter of one of the valves in there, that's when you're called to stop. Otherwise, you'll get quite an overpressurisation and the dye will come out of the back.
This will also be the first time the new circus engineers attempt their famous choreographed safety checks, known as the see-off.
At the end of the day, it's the first time doing it. If you make a mistake, just your head off, just carry on.
It's not just about the aircrew and what they're doing with the displays, it's about the engineers as well and what we can bring to it and making sure it's a full package of perfection ultimately.
You do a normal see-off, but every time you move, everyone looks into Five's jet, and then I'll look out, make sure everyone's ready to go on to the next step, and I'll nod.
It's fine, but far from perfect. Many of their moves are not in sync.
The weaker points to it was timings more than anything, just slightly off with the timings. It's not too noticeable if you would have 2 or 3 people doing it. Obviously, when you've got a line of 9 doing it, anyone slightly out with the timing, it's just so noticeable. How did everyone feel that went? For the first one. For the first one, I thought it was very good.
The only thing I've messed up on was down the bottom. I just forgot about the stopping and checking the turn. I thought it was all right.
I went wrong after the stick circle, so I went to go straight away, and then realised nobody was moving.
You are like, I don't know what you're doing, like having a rave up there.
Now the die team will discover if they've got their colours right.
Absolutely going to be blue, white and red. Or purple.
Beautiful day for the first 4-1 of 2018. Let's cut it with no side room. Go! Go!
You've only gone and done it, boys. Happy with that. Red where it's supposed to be and blue where it's supposed to be. Strong white. And a very strong white, yeah.
Most of the display goes to plan. But now it's the manoeuvre that's been Lingy's biggest challenge. The slalom.
Reverse battle.
Can he cross perfectly in time?
Battle.
It's close, but still not perfect. And many of the team's other coordinated moves could still do with some work. But it's not bad at all for a team who've lost so many weeks of training.
That was good. First run through.
There were loads of things in that, but you know, that is the first time they've run through the full show since we've got back to flying. So a big, significant step up. And now, you know, 50 or 60 shows like that, and we'll be ready for the public, I think.
Certainly felt really nice, and perfect conditions, the smoke down the back, the colours were just phenomenal. So, yeah, the boys are on good form, I think they're feeling pretty confident.
Next time, 8 top RAF fighter pilots chase their dream of becoming Red Arrows.
If I don't get selected, I'd be pretty devastated. It's obviously something that you really, really want to do, and everybody here, exactly the same.
And for the first time in their history, the team faced the prospect of postponing their display season.
We can do better as ever. It's just frustrating.